Hey, LinkedIn, and welcome back to Business Unusual. This is a live show brought to you by the LinkedIn News team where we're talking as a community about the changing nature of work. I'm Caroline Fairchild, editor-at-large at LinkedIn. It's Tuesday, September 15th, and here's a quick look at the top stories that are trending right now on LinkedIn. Apple is about to have its much-anticipated September event. It's going to start in about an hour here. CEO Tim Cook is expected to unveil a new iWatch and an updated iPad. A new iPhone is not expected as shutdowns in China have impacted Apple's supply chain. And Amazon is going on another hiring spree. The e-commerce giant is planning on adding about 100,000 more workers, both in full-time and part-time positions. The starting salary for all these roles will be $15. For more stories like these, be sure to check out the news module to the right of your LinkedIn feed. You can also share your perspective there on today's news and trends. Or if you're on mobile, be sure to click into the search box. Okay, now we want to hear from you if you're joining us on the stream right now. We've been polling members on the LinkedIn news page about how virtual job interviews change the game. Are they more challenging than in-person interviews? A, yes. B, no. C, it's hard to say. Let us know your vote right now on the stream, but more importantly, share your thoughts behind your vote. We'll have a conversation about that on today's show, as well as hear from your perspective. So be sure to vote, and we'll reveal the results of the poll at the end of today's show. That brings us to the main story that we have for you today. Pitching yourself in a job interview or trying to get buy-in from investors for a business idea has always been challenging, but doing so remotely is even trickier. How do you stand out to both employers, investors, and gatekeepers during this challenging time as we all do this virtually? Joining us on today's show is Precious Williams. She is a 13-time National Business Elevator Pitch Champion. She works with clients in the Fortune 500. She also appeared on ABC's Season 8 of Shark Tank. Precious, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, when I met you earlier this year, pre-pandemic, it was no option. I had to bring you on the show. And then the pandemic hit and I said, okay, LinkedIn has to hear from Precious right now. You're affectionately called #the Killer Pitch Master. What makes you that? Tell us a little bit more about your background.
Well, I was first called the #Killer Pitch Master when I won the Black Enterprise Elevator Pitch Championship on May 16, 2013. And Robert Townsend, yes, the Robert Townsend from the Five Heartbeats, and MC Light, yes, the famous rapstress herself, they both called me the Killer Pitch Master because I slay all competition. And that's what I help my clients do. I am truly hired by Fortune 500 companies, executives, women entrepreneurs and speakers, successful women entrepreneurs and speakers, to help them stand out in a crowded marketplace, to really bring themselves to their A game. And how do you attract paid speaking engagements? How do you become #booked and busy? How do you impress investors so that you get them investor dollars? How do you really impress those who are interviewing you for the position of your dreams? And finally, what do you say at a networking event to really stand out and have people say, hey, not only do I want your card, but I'd love to have a meeting with you to continue the conversation going on. So I have been an international professional speaker since I was 16 years old. Yes, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, if you can hear the accent. I also, I went to Spelman College on a full scholarship. I went to Georgetown University Law Center. I went to and finished at Rutgers School of Law in 2007. So I'm a former attorney, and as much as that's a great profession, it just wasn't for me. And so I wanted to start my first company. But to be quite honest with you, I quit every job I had to start my dream, which was Curvy Girls Lingerie. But like most people, when you start a company, do you already have access to the funds that you need? No, I had negative $400 in my bank account. And I went to the New York Public Library at 34th and Madison, my favorite library in the world. Favorite library. And I met a woman who said she won $50,000 in a pitch competition. And I listened to her pitch, and to be quite honest with you, I was not impressed. And I said, you know what? I'm going to enter myself in a pitch competition.
Well, if you're joining us on the stream right now, you have Precious Williams here, and she is giving us all great advice about how to pitch yourself and your business. So if you have questions or comments, let us know in the stream right now. Okay, Precious, there are lots of ways to pitch yourself. Let's start with job interviews. So many people are having to pitch themselves, get across their brand remotely. What are some tips that you can give people in the stream right now about how to do that effectively in this remote environment?
First of all, and thank you for that question, here are some tips that can really help you when you are in the midst of a job interview. First of all, enter with confidence. So many people do not enter with confidence at all, but you really need to enter with confidence. If you've checked them out on Google, if you've done the background research that is necessary, if you've gone above and beyond, you're going to be fine. Number two, the dreaded question that everybody hates to be asked. So tell us more about yourself. This is a time to take your life skills and to take your work skills and to package them into a pitch that truly makes you stand out. This is not the time to go back to your childhood. This is really the time to focus on what's in the job requirement and figure out the particular stories that match you showing up as the perfect person for that particular position. So when you're thinking about how do you sell yourself, think about all the things that you have done, the achievements that you've had, and go hard and pitch yourself. Number three, if you don't have 150 reasons why somebody should hire you, promote you, or take you to the next level, or engage with you, then you need to start back at the drawing board. This is where you go over all your achievements, your accomplishments, your skill sets, your abilities, and your talents, and ask your network, what do they see that's so special in you? And then when you are being asked all of these questions, you have at least 10 reasons why they should hire you.
Right. So you have to have your reason for why you should be hired. But I feel like so many people, when they go into a job interview, they want to come off as perfect. Is that the right way to think about it? Do you need to have that be perfect and have everything memorized, or what should be?
No, no. When it comes to pitching, one of the things that I truly specialize in, and what any pitch master would do, is take it conversational. It's not the time to just stand up and no, no, no. Keep it conversational. The thing about me is my pitches are perfect, but I am not. So when I'm if I'm working with someone, the thing I tell them is, listen, you already are great. It's time to showcase that, but keep it light and conversational. It's not the time to just rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. You want to know that you know your pitch, but take it to the level of where the conversation is going. Always make sure you have your 5 talking points. Always. You have to have 5 talking points, be that your skill sets, your abilities, whatever, and why they should hire you. And focus on those. But do not sit here and memorize and sound like and just parrot those things back. Really listen to the questions being asked, and also throw in fun facts about you that they never would know.
Such great advice. I'm going to go ahead and say hello to some members who are joining us in the stream right now. Elaine from Texas, Anthony from California, Hannah from Ireland, Christine from Ohio, Laura from Nevada. Thanks for joining us. Janice says, yes, confidence is a must. Precious, on the topic of confidence, you seem to have so much, but we see so many members on LinkedIn who just are really lacking confidence right now through this pandemic, either looking for a business opportunity or pivoting in their career. What's your advice to them? Where do you get your confidence from, and how can they perhaps have a little bit more of it?
Well, to be quite honest with you, my confidence comes from I am who I say I am. It comes from being able to have been on a lot of different shows, movies, different networks. And it also comes from I'm a student as well as a master of my craft. I didn't write 2 number 1 bestsellers on pitching because I didn't know my stuff. I'm confident that when I step into the place, you feel my presence before you even meet me. And honestly, do I have times where my confidence can be shaky? Yes. But when it's showtime, as I tell all my clients, it's showtime. And just like when I appeared on Shark Tank, I didn't want to go in there and give them the impression that I was shook, because I wasn't. This is the time to shine. And most people do not know how to shine because they're trying to be something that they're not. Be yourself. In fact, today I wondered, should I have a wig on? And I was like, no, I'm going to go and be me. I'm representing my college, Spelman College, True Blue in the house. And I want you all to truly feel me. So I'm not going to say every word going to be grammatically correct. No. But when it's showtime, you'll understand why they call me the best in the world at what I do. And just like each and every one of you, your confidence comes from above, but your confidence also comes from being invested in what it is that you do and wanting to showcase that at all times.
Right. Well, Precious, I know I speak for everyone on the stream when I say, if you sometimes don't have confidence, that makes me feel a heck of a lot better when I don't feel confident. All right. Well, it's one thing to talk about pitching, but it's another thing to see feedback in real time. So we have a treat for you on today's show. We're going to bring on LinkedIn members who are going to pitch you in real time and get feedback. First, we're actually going to bring on Satu. He is a senior at UMass Boston. Satu, thanks for joining us on Business Unusual, and take it away.
Yeah, of course. You're very welcome. So I'm a student at UMass Boston, very motivated, very optimistic. and I'm majoring in management with a minor in cognitive science. I've had over the past 4 years, 3 years of experiences in customer service. And in between those customer service experiences during the summers, the past two, to be specific, I've had experience in corporate positions, working in internships in product strategy and operations. And from those, I've been able to grab a lot of transferable skills that I plan on bringing to the future of my work. And with those transferable skills, I find passion in a good amount of them. Those being communication, networking, and being a leader in group settings. With those skills, I plan on, like I said, bringing them into the future, and doing my best that I can. And a little bit about me is that I love philosophy. I love answering questions and looking into questions that I just don't know the answer to. So a little bit of both as well. And then I also love just having conversations. So I'm very much an open book and love being able to be a team player, communicate, and have a strong work ethic to get things done in team settings.
Oh my goodness, Satu. First of all, that was absolutely wonderful. I feel like I got a full picture of you from that pitch. And if I may I give some critique?
Yeah, of course. I'm
Okay,
here for
first of
that.
all, as you got towards the end of your pitch, the more I saw you relax.
Hmm.
The more you talked about leadership skills, the more you talked about, what did you say, not knowing everything,
Yeah.
and really being intrigued by philosophy. In
Hmm.
some ways, I almost feel like you should lead with that. They
Got it.
already know that you're a student at the school that you're at. They already know what level that you're in.
Right.
They can read some of this stuff already on your resume. To me, is how you started to end it and give me more of you.
Right.
And that matters more than, they already know who you are they already know what you already come to the table with, what's on your resume, but it's the things that they don't know about you. The fact that you're willing to learn, the fact that you're willing to come to the table and say, hey, I may not know, but I'm so eager. And that's part of who I am. That's part of my essence, is I
Right.
like not having the answers to every question. And that's why I consider myself perfect for the position. Finally, you need to have a call to action. And
Mm.
as you're ending up your pitch, because what you really did was answer the question, tell us more about yourself.
Hmm.
You want to end it off. I always say start off with a bang and end with
Yeah.
fireworks.
Okay.
When you started talking about, not knowing the answers to certain things, when you end it, you want to leave them on, you want to kind of leave them on a cliffhanger.
Right.
You know what I mean? You kind of want to leave them like, and if
I want
this
to know
is,
more.
you know what I mean? I want more. I actually feel like I wanted more when you finished. I was like, man, I
Hmm.
want even to know even more about this young man. I want to know, how do you see yourself in this particular position? Because it wasn't clear to me what specific position you were applying for.
Got it.
So if you want to end it, this is why I find that I am, the perfect person for this position, and drop a few nuggets on them that they don't think
Hmm.
you know about their company. And then, just have your Beyonce drop the mic moment. Boom,
Got it.
I'm done.
Well, I'm
Sounds like
sure
a plan.
next time that Satu pitches, he's going to start with a bang and end with fireworks. Satu, thank you for joining us from UMass Boston, and good luck in your job hunt.
All right. Thank you.
All right. And now we're going to bring on Diana, who is joining us from Michigan, and she is going to pitch Precious now. Diana, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Hey, Diana.
I'm Diana, and I'm delighted and very grateful to be here. I could start by telling you a little bit about my education and experience, but rather than sounding like my resume, I will share very succinctly my little story. I grew up in Romania, in a beautiful and vibrant city in the heart of Transylvania. I attended the local music conservatory and then came to the US, graduating with a piano performance degree in Puerto Rico, never taking a single Spanish class in my life. Being raised by a single mom, an amazing anesthesia nurse, I really got to hang out a lot in the hospital, which instilled in me a passion for the healthcare environment and especially for helping people in need. So I made it my mission while working as a research project manager at the University of Michigan to go beyond my scope of duties, assisting patients and families who seemed to be struggling. I have to admit, being trilingual really came in handy. Now, you might wonder, what does a piano performance graduate do in clinical research? Truth is, having to persevere, self-sacrifice, and really push myself beyond limits through countless hours of piano practice empowered me to not only develop an ability to discern and stay true to myself, but also a mindset and work ethic that allows me to rise to the challenge and make a difference in today's ever-changing world. Thank you.
Oh, Diana. Oh, see, y'all bring your A game today. You're bringing your A game. First of all, I just have to say this. You asked a question that was so critical that you could actually start with it. What is a I'm going to try to shorten it. What does a
Sure.
pianist have to do with clinical research and everything? That was a great question to even start it off.
Mhm,
Because at first I didn't know how all of this was going to gel. But
mhm,
if you start with that question, now you got me intrigued as your interviewer. Like,
mhm,
I don't know what that has to do with it. I see it on the
mhm,
resume, but it's not congruent. So if you
mhm,
start off with that and then go into your story, it
mhm,
makes everything else so clear.
mhm.
And what you said about, wanting to help people and things like that, there was so much juicy morsels in that. You did an awesome job.
Thank you.
My last thing for you is it doesn't have to. I think you were reading, and that's fine because it's your first time. But really embody the words that you're saying.
Mhm,
And one of the times when we're just reading something, it can come off as we don't really know who we are.
mhm.
But you know your story, Diana.
I
You
really,
know
I really feel like that. It's just that not having, like, not being the first language.
it's
It's
okay, and I love that you're trilingual. Do you
Mhm.
know how do you know how rare that is in today's society? You come to the table like juicy morsels. I need that. I need someone who's able to talk to different people in different languages. So you did an awesome job, and I
Precious, I
thank
have
you.
to
And
tell you, I wish my recruiters were you because I applied to tens of jobs on LinkedIn and everybody says you don't have corporate experience. And I'm thinking, what does that have to do with anything? I am who I am and I can bring so much to the table. Just give me a chance.
but you know what? Whatever's written down. So what you did was give me the oral. I'd love to see what you put on paper because
Mhm.
the energy that I'm getting is totally different from what you may be writing. And
Okay.
I think that's what people forget about pitching
Mhm.
is, the same energy you're giving me, the same energy we're giving each
Mhm.
other needs to also be reflected in written form.
Okay.
And we also think we need to have big names, big words, but no, answer the true question being asked, not what you see. What's the true rationale behind the question being asked? And that
Mhm.
changes the game. When you deal with the pain point,
Mhm.
especially why do they need someone in this particular position now? What pain are they trying to solve? And really focus on that. And that will help you so much more than just answering a question.
Mhm.
Does that make
I put
sense?
that I put that question in there because first time I came to US, someone looked at the resume and said, "Oh my gosh, you haven't done anything in your life." And I cannot tell you what it meant to study piano and really excel in piano performance in a conservatory in Europe. So I
Girl,
was
I can
shocked
only
when I heard that
imagine.
I've never done anything in my life. And just being able to transfer those skills to healthcare was amazing.
Well, Diana, I just wanted to loop in some comments that we're getting in the stream because everyone is really
Yes, thank
resonating
you.
with what you guys are saying. Andrea says confidence along with being open and innovative in your thinking. Recruiters and interviewers want to know about you and what makes you unique and what makes you shine. And Diana, you shine so brightly on this show.
So
So I think that the
brightly.
next opportunity is
Thank
there.
you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us on Business
Thank
Unusual.
you. Thank you.
All right, Precious, I'm learning so much. I know our members are learning so much. We have one more pitch from you. This is Trisha, who's joining us. She's actually looking to start her own business. Trisha, welcome to the show.
Hi,
Welcome, Trisha.
thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. So my business is a consultancy to help high growth companies and startups grow their revenue and their sales teams. I've spent close to 15 years working and leading sales teams. And not only have my sales teams exceeded their quota, but we've specialized in driving historic revenue growth for new products. A common challenge that I've seen, though, at almost every startup is that you may have a need for a revenue leader, such as a VP of sales or even a CRO, before the dollars are there to justify such big investment. And so my solution is to come in for a specific time period. Usually it's 3 to 6 months, with the goal of laying the foundation as the revenue grows to give the executive team more time to make that big correct hire. Think of it as contract-based sales management. There are 3 specific things that I work on. The first is revenue operations. So understand the details that actually go into the sale. How long is the sales cycle, the target customer? The second thing is hiring strategy. So exactly what Diana was saying, like really not just looking at the background, but also what are the right characteristics that's going to help someone excel and sell a product. And also go-to-market messaging. I know that for me as a seller, it has been so challenging sometimes at a startup where you want to make sure you have the right message, but it can be a lot of work. So really eliminating that heavy lifting and streamlining the communication message. And personally, I'm so excited about this. I know that COVID is changing the way that companies are hiring. They want more flexibility, but also as an individual who's been in the workforce, there are times that I want to really lean into my career and push and work really hard, but also times I want more balance. And this is meant to be a solution for everyone. So thank you.
Trisha, I tell you, y'all bringing it. Now you got the triple threat up in here. I totally, you know what I felt from you? Like I felt your passion and your energy, but you also did something that most will be shy to talk about, is how to bring the pandemic into it as far as the pain point. Another thing, as I heard you, all I kept thinking was sales, sales, sales. It's like the lifeblood of any business. And most companies don't realize that until it's too late. And here you are coming in with a solution, a 3 to 6 month contract sales, for lack of a better term, solution, where you're coming in to focus on 3 main tasks. Do you know, as you were talking, I was like, not only is she bomb for how she's approaching her pitch, but you're actually offering solutions in the midst of your pitch so that they actually pay attention to. She's not just saying, give me a job, give me a contract, da, da, da. This is how I'm literally going to help you. You were confident, you knew your stuff, and it didn't feel like a rehearsal to me. It felt like, no, this is really what I'm going to do for you. So if I could offer any constructive criticism, really bring up sales from the beginning. Like, what does every company need right now? Sales, sales, sales. Now, I realize that we're in the midst of a pandemic, an economic downturn, and social unrest. So that leaves a lot of companies feeling uneasy about, whether to take on, this particular person or a VP or whatever. But this is what I can offer you. And then go into your background and then the 3 things that you can do to help them. And it really turns your pitch into something totally different from what they're used to. These are people dilly-dallying and getting to the point. You've gotten to the point quick, fast, and in a hurry. And you've got them on their feet because it's like sales, sales, sales. I mean, bring energy to it because they're not expecting that. They expect you to be, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you very much. No, bring it to them. Go for the throat. Go for it and keep going. And like I said, you did an awesome job. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you
much for that pitch. It was awesome. A little bit more energy, and I'm sure you have an investor along the way. Thank you, Trisha, for joining us. Well, Precious, that was so much fun. I can speak for the stream when I say we've learned so much. Dolores says, I love the feedback to keep your pitch conversational and the 5 talking points as a focal point. Franklin says, I like this, lead with vulnerability. Precious, like I said when I met you earlier this year, I knew I had to bring you on the show. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. It's been a great conversation.
Thank you so much.
That was Precious Williams. She is the #Killer Pitch Master, giving us so many great tips about how to pitch yourself and your business during this pandemic. I want to thank her for joining us on today's show. We had a poll that we revealed at the top of the show, and I'm going to go ahead and reveal the results of that right now. I wanted to know, are virtual job interviews more challenging? And more than half of you are saying yes, they are. Io, Tanya, Pearl, Christine, Dolores, Andrea, all voting yes, saying things like body language and non-visual cues may not be seen in a virtual interview. Reading someone via video is different. We have a few no's, and then hard to say. We have votes from Arlen, Kathy, and Sheba. Thank you so much for voting on the poll today. This is Business Unusual, a live show coming to you from the LinkedIn news page every day at 12 Eastern. Tomorrow, I'll be back with you for a conversation about healthcare. How is hiring and training workers changing post-pandemic? We'll bring on 2 leaders across industries who will discuss that. Be sure to join us back here, 12 Eastern on the LinkedIn news page. I'm Caroline Fairchild. Thank you so much for joining us.